Welcome to the Marijuana Matters Social Equity Explainer video series powered by Curaleaf. The goal of this animated video series is to illustrate the challenges within the legalized cannabis industry and the solutions presented through social equity in a digestible format. We hope that this video series will increase awareness of social equity and empathy toward those most harmed by the failed drug war policies.
My name is Wanda James, and together with my husband, Scott Dura, we were the first African Americans licensed to own a dispensary and an edible company in Colorado in 2009.
For the last 100 years, we have been at the forefront of being arrested for simple nonviolent cannabis offenses and all drug offenses. So this has been one of the reasons why they have been able to discount Black and brown faces from being owners or managers in the cannabis space. So those are some of the big issues that we have because we're already cutting out so many people. 800,000 people a year arrested for simple possession, 85% being Black and brown, mostly boys between the ages of 17 and 24, now seeing more Black and brown women being arrested. So the fact that we have been targeted for criminal activity, but yet we're not targeted for business ownership is a huge problem in my book. So making it a prerequisite or not a prerequisite to being able to get a license, depending on your criminal background, is completely absurd because I can open a restaurant or a 7-Eleven or a gas station with having past criminal offenses. So yeah, that just needs to change all the way around.
My name's Alvin, one of the founders of High Class Professionals Cannabis Company based out of Washington, D.C. And marijuana matters to me is because it's been one of the constants in my life. One of the things since I first started exploring marijuana, probably when I was like 13, 14, it's one of the main things that I've known that brings me happiness and joy. I celebrated the high points of my life with marijuana, cope with the low points in my life with marijuana. It's gotten me through tough times, helped me get through school, helped me deal with a bunch of different just things, helps me sit down and think. And it also kind of, everything that I've gotten pretty much has been off the back of marijuana. I've been able to feed my family, get myself things, get my kids things, pay my rent off marijuana. My life has been based around marijuana for a long time, and without it, I do not know where I would be. It gives me the freedom and autonomy to do kind of what I wanted to do in my life, and I'm thankful for it. My cannabis conviction kind of made it hard for me to figure out where I'm supposed to be in the legal cannabis space. I'm the kind of guy that like to grow and touch flowers and, you know what I'm saying, be around the people and do things like that. So with my conviction, I'm not allowed to do anything like that. And it's weird because my mom is a founder of a cannabis company, is a VP of, you know what I'm saying, one of the largest national cannabis dispensaries in the country. And so it's all this land and opportunity that looks like it should be available to me because, you know what I'm saying, well, my mom is a big player in the industry at this point in time, but I still haven't found a way for myself to be involved in it the way I would personally like to be involved. Like there's ways and there's avenues where if I want to do like merchandising and stuff like that, but if I want to just be with raw cannabis, it's not really available to me at this point in time. And it's a weird thing for me because like I sit back and I watch all these people, all these companies and all these, you know what I'm saying, different individuals and stuff take advantage and profit off of, you know what I'm saying, cannabis the way that I was trying to do it when I got caught. And it set me back, and I have a felony on my record now that I don't know if will ever get expunged or, you know what I'm saying, what's going to be the process when it does get expunged. You know what I'm saying? It set me back. It affects me in my housing, my job opportunities, and, you know what I'm saying, all sorts of things. So it's just weird for me to be able to see what could be done versus what I could do.
I'm Corvain Cooper. I was just serving a life sentence for cannabis. I'm with 40 tons, and we support Rooted and Good. The problem that I see in social equity in California is it's basically just like the knowledge of the know-how of basically how am I getting into this business. I own a dispensary, or I own this, and you don't have any knowledge, or you have done no education on running a business or running a cannabis store or running anything. And most of the people that are owning it, it's like they're just getting taken advantage of just because they didn't have the awareness or they didn't have the knowledge. So the most people that I see that owns it really technically doesn't own it because they're getting bought out by people with more money. Having a second chance is like winning the lottery, but actually it's better than the lottery, because with a lottery, it's just you get getting that chance at money, right? With a second chance at life, you're getting a second chance to right your wrongs, do better for your family, do better for your kids, be a better son, be a better father, be a better girlfriend, be a better husband, be a better person, period, be a better friend, be a better business person, and just, everything that you did wrong in life, you got a chance to fix it. With money, you're just won the lottery and you have some money now. So that's the difference in a second chance at life. After coming home from a 9-year prison term, you've missed a lot, so you've missed out on all your kids' highlights of their life. You missed out on your parents' 60th birthday. You've missed out on funerals. You've just missed out on just time of just being gone and being away. So it's the lack of not being there, and the milestones that you missed in your family's life, in your life, and things that you could have done different if you were there. The consequences of the day-to-day are, first, number one, I just got a dose of just being gone and being away, and my bank account being froze, because during the time that I was out of my child's life, one of my kids' mothers had got government assistance. And when you get government assistance, you're liable for that by being the father of the child. So whatever food stamps or crystal stairs that they got, they're charging you for that. And so I just got a dose of that, and get a dose of just not being able to bank at a regular banking. I deposited cannabis proceeds into my account, and due to the fact of me doing that, I can't even bank anywhere, so that's another problem and another obstacle that I had to climb. Housing is pretty steep in California, where it's $4,000 to live in the hood. It's $4,000 or $5,000 to live in poverty. So it's just the price alone of living in California by itself before you can deal with having to go through to fill out an application to see if you're going to get approved, to see if your credit's going to be good enough, to see if you meet the requirements. Just the pricing of living in California, it's like $100,000 a year to be broke. Would address to first start off with your local, foundations and stuff like Marijuana Matters and stuff that, how they can help you, and see how you can get information. You can go to 40 Tons, you can go to our career fairs, and you can see where you can seek knowledge and help and find out what you can do in order to get a job, and how you can get just awareness of what do you need to do in life, period, because information is key on anything that you do in life. You need information. The first step, I would say, if everyone got together and, they're trying to stop laws, and they say, get Prop 64 and get this and get that. That's not the real law that's causing the problem. The real law is the conspiracy law. It's the web you can't get out of, just like they just got the Dose now, so shout out to Daniel. And you're going to get tied up in a conspiracy, and it's no way, whether you're an attorney, whether you're white, black, alien, or green. Once you're in a conspiracy, it's just no way out of it. And it was built to break down like the mob and stuff like that. But you've torn away so many families with this conspiracy law, when it doesn't matter if the evidence is against you, if you don't never been to the state, or if you never touched the drugs, period. As long as you're involved in the conspiracy and one person in that conspiracy can say that they know you, that's basically it for you. And you're tied in and your whole life can crumble. So I say the main important thing is the conspiracy law. We love the support that we get from Marijuana Matters. We love Khadijah and everything that she does. And she's partnered up with us with so many people. And she's helped us out so many ways, just with just knowledge before you can do anything financially. If you don't have the knowledge or the information to know what to do with the things that they're telling you to do, then money will just go in and out your hands. So it's not all about the money. It's about, finding out what to do with money and how to build your company and how to build a franchise and how to build a foundation and how to build something that's sustainable to give to your kids.
J.M. Balbuena, Synergy Studios.
There are many ways in which a brand can use its reach to correct outdated laws and sentencing practices. Becoming a conscious brand requires work and effort, but it takes all of us to do our part so we can enjoy a more equitable cannabis industry. 1. Educate yourself, your team, and your customers about the history of the plant, the benefits of cannabis, the perils of prohibition, and the laws and how they affect the communities they govern. 2. Openly support and finance legislation that empowers BIPOC equity, growing your own medicine, and expungements for nonviolent cannabis crimes. 3. Collaborate with organizations pioneering and championing cannabis reform, cannabis advocacy, and racial justice. For example, The Last Prisoners Project, 40 Tons, and Boycott Shitty Weed. And 4, start where you are and rally your community to maximize your reach to engage at the local, state, and federal levels in order to cause the greatest impact.
My name is Mackenzie Mans, and I'm with Generational Equity Movement. Allyship means recognizing the truths about America and the privilege you hold simply because of your skin. But it goes beyond understanding that racism exists at every level in society. It means acting in every interaction to dismantle white supremacy. Allyship is learning how to decenter yourself and take cues from others. A large part of being an ally is just listening and being aware of the space that you take up. Allyship can be uncomfortable. You make mistakes and unlearn things you held to be true. In the cannabis industry, allyship is taking on the problem of inequity as your own and fighting every day for Black ownership. It's being a partner in achieving a more just world. Allyship means shutting the fuck up and listening.
My name is Courtney Davis, and I am the Executive Director of Marijuana Matters. The policy gap between states and the federal government affect progress in the cannabis industry because, as most of us know, more than half of the states in America have some sort of licensed cannabis industry. Yet the signals that the industry is receiving from Congress and the White House is that cannabis is still a drug, a Schedule I drug that by definition means that there are no known and approved medical benefits. We all know that this is in fact incorrect. We should be able to lean on the federal government to apply pressure on states to create equity within their licensed cannabis programs. There are several examples of this where federal agencies will create a grant program that states may apply for if they are hitting certain benchmarks. We could codify into law that states that create automatic expungement for cannabis-related charges are eligible for this funding to pay for the training and education that goes into implementing a new law from a systems level. The state could also use the money to support the judicial staff or update their technology that's necessary to expunge records and also to do outreach to the individuals that will benefit from this law. We should also urge states to focus on leveraging data to make sure that the outcomes of their equity measures are being met. Creating a national strategy on social equity in the cannabis industry, coupled with funding for education and resource building, is a type of leadership that we need from our federal government. Instead, we have a patchwork of state laws that are creating challenges surrounding financial services for marijuana businesses, federal tax issues for these businesses, including social equity applicants, which is the very population of individuals that we are working to support and uplift in this industry. There is now a record high of 68% of Americans that support legalization, so it's not a conversation of if, but when. Organizations like Marijuana Matters, Women Grow, Hood Incubator, and Cannabis Nurses of Color exist to ensure that when legalization occurs, it includes policies that can reverse and repair the most egregious effects of the war on drugs on communities of color. Public institutions, communities, and cannabis business owners all have a responsibility to create an industry that does no more harm. And in my opinion, the federal government, which banned cannabis nationwide in 1937, which then led to increased punishment for cannabis, mass incarcerations at the state and federal level, does not get to sit this one out.
I'm Khadija Triple, founder of Marijuana Matters and Senior Vice President at Curaleaf. Social equity is a framework for understanding how to address the harms that have been caused by poor policies. It actually predates the cannabis legalization movement. And so we need to understand at a national level why it's important to look beyond just social equity in the sense of operational licenses. We need to look at the ecosystem of cannabis and understand how we address the harms of the poor policies that came out of the war on drugs. So we can address health inequities, education inequities, as well as wealth inequities. So social equity is bigger than just the cannabis industry. And we need a national conversation and standard that helps people understand how to address the collateral consequences of the failed war on drugs. And when we have a national standard and we are all operating from the same playbook, we're going to be able to drive change faster, have greater impact. We will all be speaking and working toward a common goal to mitigate the harm that has been caused by the war on drugs, addressing those systemic, stubborn collateral consequences that drive inequities today.